Welcome, Menonverse, and this is the first Funcast. It's going to be a podcast on Formula One. So, on the Menonverse, we are going to have podcasts on Formula One, on traveling, on vlogging, and more. So, let's start our first episode, and we have my very good friend Raunaq Dutt, who is a traveler, an avid gamer, a Formula One enthusiast, amateur photographer, and does a bit of law on the side. So, hi Ronak, how are you?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
I'm good. So, what do you think about Formula One? I mean, when have you been watching Formula One, or since when do you know about Formula One? And what is Formula One for you?
I don't exactly remember like when I started watching Formula One. Like the first time I watched Formula One. Actually, it was way back in I guess 1996 or 1997. Yeah, when Michael Schumacher used to like
Dominate the sport.
dominate circuits, and like he was probably like challenged mostly by Pablo Montoya. So I believe he was in 1996 and 1997 because that's what I can recall because I was born in 1990 and when I first watched Formula One, like the memory that I can recall goes way back to 1996 and 7.
Well, 96, if I'm not wrong, was won by Damon Hill, and 97 was won by Villeneuve, 98, 99 by Mika. But yeah, Michael was fighting, and Michael did go to Ferrari at that point of time, and Ferrari were in a very, very bad condition, somewhat like what they are right
Yeah, but
now.
still, I believe that Michael was still star kid, like star driver at that point of time.
Yeah,
He
true.
was definitely a like very good
He
driver at that point of time.
he was already a two-time world champion, 94 and 95, and he was hunting down the others for his third world title. And he did build and bring Ferrari to the glory days, which started from the new
Yeah,
millennium.
definitely they won back to back four, I believe
Five,
five
2001 to
championships.
2004. So
2000, 2000 to 2004.
2000 to 2004,
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah.
that's right.
Okay. So I believe you have a few questions for me.
Yes, I have jotted down few questions regarding this season only,
Okay.
because what I think that this being our first podcast in this season, and this season being so exciting, like it's almost has come to an end, and things at this point of time are very volatile between two teams, as everybody knows, two teams like Red Bull and Mercedes. So it did like what I thought that this would be a very perfect topic for us to begin our first podcast.
Oh, without doubt, because since the turbo hybrid era began in 2014, only one team has been dominating, and we have not had any title deciders till the very last races. I mean, Lewis used to almost win the title by the time we got to US or Mexico or Brazil, and only in 2016 was the last time the title was decided at the last race in Abu Dhabi, and that too was a Mercedes driver, Nico Rosberg. So yeah, this is, if not one, definitely the most exciting season in the turbo hybrid era.
Yeah, we had a very long time.
If there's a need for change,
It is actually.
yeah.
So like
So let's begin the
it
questions.
has already begun. Like you just answered very nicely my first question. And one thing I would like to ask you: describe the season in one line.
It is a roller coaster ride.
It
The
is.
points have been uh, tallying up. The lead has changed hands so many times. Then the most remarkable thing was Spa. We got half points for each and every driver because the race was, well, it was not a race, but whatever it was behind the safety car. Russell got his first podium
First podium for us.
for Russell. So It has been a roller coaster ride. The lead has changed hands so many times, and now we just have, if I'm not wrong, an 8 point gap between Max and Lewis, with Max leading. So there are a lot of permutations and combinations which apply. So going into Saudi and Abu Dhabi, it can be won at either place.
Definitely. Definitely. So, like you just mentioned about Russell winning his first podium this season, what do you think about his driving in the previous season? Could he have won a podium there, or you know what
On
I'm
merit,
talking about? Bahrain
Sakir.
and Sake, yeah, Sake GP.
I believe he would have won the race had Mercedes not had that catastrophic pit stop error with Bottas and Russell. There was a
Russell.
mix of tires. Then he again got back near the podium. He was going to win again, and then the puncture. It was just tragic. It was like there's a lot of bad luck following George.
Definitely, it was like it was his 100% effort, and it was his worth. If he would have won, it would have been a worth like very credible victory for him. But
Correct.
maybe the stars weren't aligned for him that day.
Uh,
Otherwise, the like Grand Prix would he would have won that Grand Prix.
I am pretty sure because I think everyone knows he is destined to be a world champion in the future. There's no doubt about that. He is Mr. Saturday. He has outqualified his teammates in every season. Just recently, he got outqualified by Latifi, very recently.
Yeah, yeah,
But since 2018, the last time he was outqualified by a teammate was back in 2018 when he was in F2. And I'm not counting Bottas when he drove for Mercedes at Sakir Grand Prix, because that time he was just substituting for Lewis.
yeah. That was a special circumstances
Yeah, that,
that
that was a special circumstance.
unfortunately Lewis got COVID and he had to race.
Yeah,
And what I believe is that Mercedes did a very good job giving him the opportunity to drive a W10,
11 that
W11.
point.
Okay, W11. Yeah, it was good on part of Mercedes to let him drive.
Yeah, he has always been the future for Mercedes without any doubt. Um, I mean, I think that is one reason why they were probably giving Bottas 1 year contracts, because they were just wanting to know the caliber of Russell. They were just testing how well he is. They were just waiting for the time he comes into Mercedes, because they obviously didn't want to do what Red Bull did with Gasly or Albon, because they were practically rookies when they moved into the Mercedes seat, and we all know what Max did to them. He absolutely annihilated them. So,
Yeah,
and now with Checo Perez, it is pretty stable, a very stable lineup for Mercedes, and he is
stable line for Red Bull.
oh,
Red Bull.
sorry,
Yeah,
for Red Bull, sorry. And they have been climbing up the order, and there is a very marginal difference in the constructor standing also. So there's just 5 points between them. So if Red Bull have a good race in Saudi and Abu Dhabi, they might take the constructors.
yeah. We'll get back to that topic.
Yeah.
That topic is entirely a separate task of discussion for us. Like there's a lot of things to talk about. But what I'd like to ask you right now is, I guess everybody is very excited for Russell grabbing a seat in Mercedes for next year, next season.
I am pretty sure, I don't know about you, but I was expecting that Russell would be driving in Mercedes this year, because Lewis had not signed his contract. I know it was a very, very long stretch beyond imagination, that why would Lewis hang up his boots after winning his seventh title? But we all saw what happened, what Rosberg did. Rosberg won his first title and immediately he retired. So maybe Lewis had, if he had a change of heart, maybe, but he didn't. He probably wants to go for that eighth world title and break the record, which uh, I guess Max is trying his level best to make Lewis not achieve that dream.
I don't think that Max is trying to, like, Max is not letting Lewis win his
No,
eighth
no,
title.
yeah,
What I
yeah.
believe is Max is fighting for his first title.
What Max is doing
I
right
guess
now?
Max is a, like, I don't know, driver with a very strong spirit, and
Yeah,
I feel he
that
wants to like win
that
championship, and he's serious about this business.
that we can see in his interviews, because whenever he is asked about this topic, whenever he is questioned about it, that what are your thoughts on the title, what are your thoughts on the championship, what do you think will happen, who will win. Max always says that I'm taking it one race at a time. I am not worried about that. I'm just concentrating on my race. I don't want to worry about the title, because if I worry about the title, then I'll be under pressure. He doesn't like to be under pressure. And Max has been pretty chill. As in,
Exactly. I mean, like in last two races also, he was not that concerned about him losing
exactly.
few points against Lewis.
Yeah, his
In
radio was
fact, he
so
has
calm.
been yeah. In fact, he has been very positive with the fact that he won. He took the second place.
Yeah. So he is just looking on the positives, which is a very good sign, which is a very strong mentality from Max, because that is what is important, that is what is required from a world champion driver. Because if you don't have that strong mindset, if you don't have that mental strength, then you can't be a world champion. We have seen that in, I'm sorry, I mean, immense respect, but we have seen that in Bottas. If he could have, he should have won the title in 2020. He went
Okay,
for
okay.
it.
I will like to like break your flow here
Okay.
because this is in one of my questions. So
Oh,
I will
lovely.
ask this. This thing is going to come later in this podcast. So
So Menonverse,
you guys got to be tuned up in here.
so Menonverse, actually, the thing is that I do not know the questions. So these are all unknown questions for me. So he has written down the questions and which he wants to ask. I am no F1 pundit. I am no F1 guru
I
or
would like
something.
to uh, interrupt him and I'm definitely disagreeing with him right now
No, 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 no,
because
no,
no, no,
no.
no. This guy here, Siddharth Prabhakar Menon, he is just such a F1 fanatic that I don't know. Like he can answer anything you ask regarding F1. Like he knows what driver won which year, like which driver won what championship. In like I don't know. Like I don't even remember that when F1 started, and this guy knows that yeah, this year it started, and these are the drivers who won the championship.
Well, I'm no Seb Vettel in that.
Yeah,
But
he's definitely one.
no, I'm not.
He is.
I'm nowhere near that. But yeah, I do have a keen interest in Formula One. That's why that is one of the main reasons why we are having this Funcast, and that is the reason why this channel exists. So yeah, and I have a good set of friends who do share my love for Formula One. So why not talk about it?
Definitely. So let's begin. I'll uh, like charge my questions on Siddharth Prakhan regarding
Okay.
this season only because why not? Let's just stick to this season. It's so exciting right now. So Menon, how strong is Red Bull's comeback this season, and what is the level of seriousness, intensity for Red Bull in the team?
I think Red Bull are on a mission for redemption, because they had an awesome run from 2010 to 2013, four back to back titles, four back to back drivers and constructor titles, actually. And suddenly, since the turbo hybrid era began, that all dropped off. That all went away. Suddenly, Mercedes were the champs, and Mercedes adapted to the rules. And we have seen it that Mercedes has been winning the title back to back since 2014. But I guess not just Red Bull. I think it is Honda's last hurrah in F1 because, as we all know, Honda is leaving F1 sadly
Yeah,
after this season is done. So I guess Honda, as an engine manufacturer, they want that they go out as champions. They do not go out just as another engine manufacturer because everyone knows the GP2 engine radio message from Alonso. So Honda probably want to turn their fate around. So that is why it is a combined effort from Honda as well as Red Bull, and Red Bull desperately want their fifth world title. They wanted Max to be the youngest world champion, but unfortunately that could not happen. However, well, they'll make him not the youngest world title, but the fifth championship winner for Red Bull.
definitely.
I mean, the second championship winner, but the fifth title for Red Bull. You get my drift. Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to deviate from F1 for a
Okay.
bit and would ask Siddharth if Red Bull wins this year's F1 season, would you be interested in buying a Honda Indian car, or Honda company's car, like Honda car, like maybe Civic or Cities, maybe what what all cars do they have? Accord, or
You
would you
know
be
how.
interested in buying a Honda in India?
uh, so you know you know how I feel about Honda cars. I mean, they are immensely reliable. They are not that expensive to run. They are good quality cars, but I believe that I am a bit of an enthusiast, and I do not get that feel while
Honda
driving.
doesn't create a enthusiast car.
The
They
only
doesn't consider enthusiast to be like existing in India.
the only enthusiast centric car which they have is the Civic Type R and the
That is not in
NSX
India.
and the NSX, which both are not in India. So it doesn't make sense, and I don't know if I'll be comfortable spending a huge amount on a car which I'm not excited to drive about, which I'm not looking forward. I mean, if my father is driving, if my parents are going out somewhere or something of that sort, then a Honda powered car is good. I'm not dissing Honda in any way. I like their technology. I like the cars they have. I like the what do you call uh, features they provide, and the build quality is okay, but no Honda for me. Sorry,
That's all right.
don't
It's
don't
okay.
don't diss
Like
me, Honda. Sorry,
Honda is a nice car, but
I
they
love
are
you.
not exciting to drive.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
would agree with that. So we move to our next question. And did Red Bull had the strongest car from the starting of the season?
Initially, it looked like that, to be honest. But then we thought, what happened in the difference between 2020 and 2021. I'll do one thing. I'll compare both the seasons and what we had thought. Okay, after
Definitely.
seeing the
Sure.
turbo hybrid era. So this will take about, I think, 2-3 minutes. So in 2020, Mercedes just wiped the floor with everyone, and they dominated like anything. I mean, the only technical contender for the title was Bottas. I mean, Max was nowhere near.
Yeah, true.
And uh, I mean, Mercedes were just on top of their game with the DAS and with the W11. They were just an unstoppable force. But then 2021 comes in, and earlier, as you know, that the regulations would have changed in 2021, but they have now been pushed down to 2022 because of the COVID pandemic. So 2021, the cars would have been the same, would are the same actually, Just the team names would change, certain liveries would change, and certain driver lineups would be changing. So we all thought that the only technical change was that the floorboards had to be cut a bit more. So we thought that this is such a minor change and it won't change the order much, and we would be having a normal season. Mercedes will dominate like anything, and Lewis will take his eighth
Yeah,
title.
definitely. That was the impression at the starting of the season.
Yeah, but then we come to preseason testing in Bahrain. Mercedes are not where they belong. They were not at the top.
So you agree that Mercedes is not as competitive or as powerful as it used to be in the previous seasons?
No, 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 no. What I'm saying is that initially Mercedes struggled because there was this discussion about high rake and low rake cars. So, for those who don't know, the Red Bull has a high rake concept. So, high rake is basically the nose is lower and the rear end of the car is slightly higher. So, as compared to the road surface, but the Mercedes is a low rake car, so technically it is flatter than the Red Bull. So if you see the cars side by side, you can say the Mercedes is lower because it is flatter, and if you see the Red Bull is slightly raised towards the end. So that's a high rake concept. So the rear suspension is slightly higher. So that gave a huge advantage to Red Bull, and Red Bull were flying out of the gate, and they were just like, uh, I mean, topping the time charts at pre-season testing, and we all thought that Mercedes is just sandbagging. They're having issues. They're not having any issues. They have always done this. It has
Yeah, they're just pretending to be
they're just
like the
pretending
weaker
not to
one.
be fast. So and but when Mercedes took pole in Bahrain, I was like, okay, well, probably it is not uh, the high rake, low rake concept which is causing issues. It is just a thing of the past now. But it felt like Mercedes was actually sandbagging. But later on, we find out that sorry, sorry, I was wrong. Max took pole.
Max took pole.
Max took pole. Lewis won the race. I am so sorry. Max took pole. Lewis won the race, and suddenly we were thinking that this high rake, low rake concept, this ideology, sorry, not ideology, this theory which we have, that is not that strong. But then we come to Imola, and Max wins. Although he didn't take pole, Lewis took pole, and Perez was second, but Max won the race. And then we saw a change. Then we saw that these guys are actually fighting for the title from race one. It was not from race seven or race eight or something. No, they were fighting for the title since race one. And you can see the difference between what Lewis and Max are doing and what the rest of the grid are doing. The focus, the commitment.
Yeah, definitely. Every driver from the starting of the race, like, try their best to be the best in the race. Like,
Yeah.
they would give their like 100% effort in giving their best performance and winning points for the team. So definitely, both the drivers, Max and Lewis, were very much serious about this year's championship.
Lewis is going for his eighth, which will be a record breaking Michael Schumacher's record.
And I believe that lots of people don't want that thing to happen.
No, because
Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Like, what do you think about?
no, because look, growing up as a kid, if anyone would say anything, like if you were driving down the road and you saw someone just driving very fast and just cutting traffic, and the first thing which came out of your mind, hey, Michael Schumacher.
Hey, अपने आप को माइकल शूमेकर बनता है.
हाँ.
Right.
Right, you wouldn't say that, hey, अपने आप को Mika Hakkinen बन रहा है, something of that sort.
No.
You would say Michael Schumacher.
Nobody would know who Mika Hakkinen is unless he is a like very good F1.
Exactly, because Formula One was Michael Schumacher.
At least in India, I must like
Not
stress
just-
on this thing.
Yeah.
That in India, majority of the people know about Michael Schumacher. Right? They
Yeah,
don't know about who
even
Mika Hakkinen is or who Damon Hill was, like, or like any other driver in.
yeah, even
They
even the
would
greats.
maybe they would know Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton, but I don't think a lot of people would have been knowing about Mika Hakkinen being a world champion for 2 times.
Yeah, because that's the sad thing. Though we did have races in India, the last one being in 2013 when Seb won and won the title as well. But sadly, I think that we need more people to be watching Formula One in India because it's not just about the cars going around in a circle or well a racetrack, but it's more than that. It's about athletes, about top class athletes withstanding forces, high pressure, uh, risking their lives. Well, we saw what happened in Bahrain 2020 when Romain Grosjean crashed. So it's not these guys are risking their lives and they are providing us entertainment, and it's so exhilarating and there's so much adrenaline pumping through your veins when you're watching the race. So Formula One needs to uh, grow in India. We and I hope that we do have the return of Formula One in India soon because they are expanding and India is a pretty big country. I
I
mean, second most populous.
I would totally agree with you, Siddharth, on this thing, and I would like to add a few points of my own on this thing. Like
Yeah.
the concept of Formula One in India is not it's not seen as a sport. It is seen as an entertainment.
Yeah,
Like
that happened
people,
with Uttar Pradesh
yeah,
government.
people do not realize that how much technicality is there while developing a car or while it is on a track, and kind of uh, kind of stress the drivers are going through while driving through like 1.5 2 hours of race. Like it is physically very taxing, in fact mentally also,
Yeah.
and people do not realize it. They just see like it's like, okay, a car is going around a track in circles and circles, and like ultimately one guy wins and other loses. And this is the only concept which I believe most of the people are
I'll give you an
following
example.
F1 with.
I'll give you an
I
example.
don't, sorry, I would like to interrupt. Like, not following F1, but yeah, most of the people think like this about F1 in India.
No, you said it pretty right because I remember once, if I'm not wrong, it was the uh, Canadian Grand Prix or probably one of the races in Europe, probably Red Bull Ring. Uh, the we were watching the race and I got a call from my boss at that time, and he asked me, "What am I doing?" Well, odd question to ask, but still, he asked me if I'm free. So I just said that I'm watching the race, and he was like, "What race?" I'm like, "Formula One." Okay. And his response was that, "Oh, that's just cars driving around in circles.
Driving around the
What's interesting
circuits, yeah.
about that?" I'm like, you don't understand. That is why we are
So,
having this fun cast. We want
so
to tell people about Formula
this is
One.
the concept in India. Like people do not appreciate the efforts that a team puts
Guys,
in, a
you
driver
you
puts.
if you see these guys, if you see these athletes, the drivers, there are only 20 of them in the entire world. Just 20 Formula One drivers,
20 perfect Formula One
perfect
drivers.
Formula One drivers who are there on the grid. If you see their physique, if you see the training they go through, if you see the amounts of G forces that they have to withstand in the car, a fun fact: a Formula One driver loses around 2 to 3 kilos in weight in every race. So their fitness regime is very strict. So Formula One is not a joke. If a normal person like you and me go and try to drive a Formula One car, and our necks will snap. I mean, there is a very brilliant video by Driver 61, very technical and nice YouTube channel. Do check them out. I'll leave the link in the description. They have a video in which a normal person drives a Formula One car, and that person explains how he or she felt. So, Formula One is not just entertainment, it is actually a sport, and it is very emotional.
It is. It is the most emotional thing we feel in this entire world. Like, we are so excited about each and every race. Like, we won't tell you who we support because let's keep that a bit private till.
Oh, I was going to talk about that,
No,
but
no, we shouldn't talk about that. Let's keep it a secret, and we'll let our listeners know when season is over.
but there is an ongoing bet between Raunaq and myself that
Yeah.
if a certain driver wins the world title, both of us will get tattoos.
Yeah.
And we will post those tattoos, and we have not decided what tattoo it is. So when the checkered flag drops in Abu Dhabi or Saudi, we don't know. We
We
don't
don't
know.
know. Yeah, definitely we don't
Whenever the checkered flag drops in Abu Dhabi or Saudi, uh, we
we will be
we will be getting a
we
tattoo.
we will be brainstorming our minds to what kind of tattoo we want. Like because yes, definitely why not? If that driver wins the title and
Look, in both cases, it is
why
going to
not?
be epic because one driver is going for his eighth and one is going for his first.
First, yeah.
So it can be anyone.
Can be anyone.
Oh, okay. Next question. This is
Okay.
interesting.
Okay, so let's talk about something which is very like controversial on one part, but
I love a controversy.
yeah, and like it can be a bit genuine on certain parts.
Okay.
Team radios.
Oh,
What
no.
do you think about team radios? Team radios, I believe, are the most interesting thing that happens during a
No,
Grand Prix.
if it is just restricting to technical stuff like what the engineer tells the driver,
You
if,
know
if
what I'm
he's
talking about.
you're talking about
You know what I'm talking about.
you're talking about
Inversion, like
you're talking
invert.
about
Let's invert this session into something else now.
I got it. You're talking about Valtteri, it's James.
Yeah.
You're talking about that.
Yes. What do you
Yeah.
think about that? Like, is it a like a good thing for a driver to accept, or like is it if a driver doesn't accept that, is it a does that mean he's a mean driver?
We have had both instances. So, best example, uh, Lewis Hamilton. He was asked to let Nico by.
Yeah.
I don't remember the race. Sorry, I think it was 2016 or 15. I don't remember. He was asked to let Nico by, and Lewis said, I'm paraphrasing here, but Lewis said that uh, if he can catch me, he can overtake me. I'm not slowing down for Nico. So, and then we have the other side. We have the radio communication, which all of us are familiar with, all Formula One fans. It starts with Valtteri, it's James, and we know what happens. The recent example was invert the cars, or in Zandvoort, Valtteri, it's James, don't go for the fastest lap, abort the fastest lap.
I would like to tell you that the next movie Christopher Nolan is going to make will be a sequel to Inception, and it will
It's
be called
Valtteri, it's James.
Inversion.
Oh, inversion, that's even better. So, yeah, okay, coming back to team radios. So, in my personal opinion, I believe if it is just up to the technical side, as I said, that if the drivers are facing any issues, if they want any updates on their rival, say example, Max is leading and Lewis is following, and Max wants to know how far behind Lewis is. So that kind of information, yes, that's very important because accordingly the driver will change his race style. increase the space or decrease the space, conserve the tires or fuel or whatever that might be. But when it comes to drivers getting inverted, uh, the worst example was Massa getting the team radio from Ferrari. Fernando is faster than you. Confirm if you understand the message. Fernando is faster than you.
Yeah.
And Massa did not respond, and they kept on asking him. And finally, he did respond because he let him pass, and it didn't make sense because if I'm not wrong, that was the German Grand Prix, and we had a lot of time to decide for the world title. So it was stupid, and there was a team radio between Barrichello and Schumacher also, in which Barrichello slowed down right at the finish line, and Schumacher overtook him. And Schumacher pulled him up on the winners' podium, and that was the only fine which they got. Due to that incident, actually, team radios got banned. Teams could not
But like, okay,
have
like
such
you
things.
in last race, what we saw was the team radios got like transmitted to two drivers, I guess, Checo and Gasly as well.
Yeah, so so that is the problem. That is the problem. So what happens is if we have a scenario like 2018 Russia, in which Valtteri was in the lead of the race and Lewis was in P2, and suddenly he got the first Valtteri, it's James radio call, saying that we invert the cars. And if you have heard the Beyond the Grid podcast with Valtteri Bottas, uh, he felt he felt that he felt very wrong. He felt robbed because he said that we are racing drivers and we should be going for the lead. We should be going to win the race, not in what it felt unnatural for him. So what I believe, if a team does that just for the hopes that they're preferring one driver over the other, it is understandable because without saying there are number one and number two drivers in every team. But if it is done early on in the year, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, definitely.
I
I would
mean,
like to express my feelings.
just one
If
thing.
if I was a driver with a like I'm just theoretically going into this thing, and
Okay,
making this
let's
situation
say
like,
you were Valtteri Bottas.
if I was a driver in F1
No, you were
and
Valtteri
I
Bottas.
was told to like let my teammate pass, I wouldn't be happy. Like not at all. It would have been like very disheartening for me to listen this thing from my team radio. But at the same time, yeah, I would have been a very loyal team driver,
Yeah, but
and I would have let my partner like pass.
no, but that is where the difference comes. Because if you ever want to be a world champion, you need to have that mental strength.
Yeah,
You
you
need
have to
go
be like a Seb.
You
You'll have to be like
Seb,
Seb.
2013 Malaysian Grand
21.
Prix, multi 21. Everyone knows about that.
It's multi 21 we're talking about.
Multi 21 Seb, multi 21. And we all have heard the team radio. We all have seen the race highlights many times. I have seen it probably more than 20, 30 times. And we all saw the cool down room, how annoyed Mark was, and
How heated up it was.
that actually led to Mark Webber retiring from Formula One. That is the kind of dent it brings to a driver. And Seb, in the very next race in China, he said that initially in Malaysia he apologized. He was very
Yeah,
apologetic.
he was.
He was saying that it was very wrong of me as the PR stuff. I could just say that I did not understand, blah 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 blah. But the very next race in China, he goes like, I was sorry, I was faster and he was slower, and I won because I could beat him. That was it. That was his attitude. That is the attitude of a Formula One world champion. And as Will Buxton once said in Drive to Survive, that every Formula One world champion has an inner bastard inside him. That one characteristic is there, that he wants to win. He does not, even if it is a bad result for the team in the entire championship, overall championship, he wants to win. That selfishness is there. That is what Lewis showed when he got the team radio to let Nico by. He didn't. He said, if he can catch me, I'm not slowing down for Nico. That is what Seb did in Russia in 2019. When they asked him to invert the car with Leclerc, he said, let's brake for 2 laps.
And that is what pure racing is.
That is what racing is.
That is what racing is like. Racing in its purest form.
Yeah. So, team radios, very controversial topic. Uh, don't invert the drivers, guys. These guys are here after a very long and hard battle through junior ranks and formulas, karting and whatnot. These guys want to win. I understand that the team wants to let their number one driver win, but if it is early on in the season, it doesn't make sense. But yeah, like you said. Later on in the season, in Qatar, when Gasly got the team radio. During the race, I told you that Gasly will get the team radio, especially after Max said, getting a little stuck here. So we all understood that was an indirect message to Franz Toast,
Definitely.
not to
Everybody
GP.
understood that. Like,
And immediately I saw on YouTube uh, Gasly's team radio, and during that time, Gasly got the radio call from his engineer Pierre that Max will have DRS, and we are not fighting him. Our race is not with Max. Let Max pass. So that was pretty obvious, and he did the same for Perez. So that is because AlphaTauri is the sister team to Red Bull, and AlphaTauri will want Red Bull to win the championship.
yeah,
So
definitely. So
that
what I believe is like it's a like being a constructor. Like constructor is the like the person providing you the car to drive. So definitely it's their call
was
to
constructed the car.
yeah to like make calls on who is going to lead the race and who is going to like let the other driver pass. So
And sorry, probably I'm deviating, but I want to talk about Gasly. I mean, everyone talks about Hamilton and
in
Verstappen and
fact,
everyone
even I want to talk about Gasly so much.
because
I cannot resist myself, but
he has
for
been
for
phenomenal.
time being, I'm not allowing Siddharth to speak on Gasly because Gasly is an entire topic for discussion in our next podcast.
Oh,
So
perfect.
yeah,
We have a
we will
podcast
have
on
a
Gasly.
podcast regarding Gasly because he's a superb driver and we want to hear more about him from Siddharth and
Yeah,
we want to express our views on Gasly.
yeah.
So
Next question.
now my final question for you, not
Final.
final, like it's a like okay, there will be one more question for you.
Okay. We'll have more.
Okay, so now we are going to talk about Valtteri Bottas.
Ah, the flying
Valtteri
Finn.
Bottas, a rebel Valtteri Bottas. What kind of Bottas do you want?
Um,
A rebel one or the
I wanted Bottas to win so badly in 2020 when he won the first race in Austria, or I think it was the Styrian Grand Prix if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
But the first race of 2020, it felt that yep, this guy might just take the title. Might. I mean, I was just imagining Mika Hakkinen, Kimi Raikkonen, and I was just thinking that if he can just uh, get it together and disobey team orders a bit, just go for it, man. Just go for the title. I mean, that is what you're here for, right?
so were you disappointed that season with Valtteri Bottas?
I was extremely disappointed, especially because I believe that I might be wrong, but it felt like he was quite a lot like a pushover. I mean, he would just get a command and he would just blindly agree to it. It can be anything. It can be don't go for the fastest lap, like in Zandvoort, Although he went for the fastest lap, but eventually Lewis got it. It can be Russia 2018 when he was told to let Lewis by. It could be the numerous Valtteri James radio communications. Uh, but I don't know. Probably he doesn't have the consistency of Lewis. I'm not saying that Valtteri is bad. Valtteri has out qualified Lewis lot many times,
Several times.
and he has out qualified Lewis even by half a second. So he's in no regard a bad driver. He has around, if I'm not wrong, 19 poles in Formula One, and that's not an easy task. I mean, getting
Definitely,
pole
it's not an
position.
easy task.
So Bottas, I'm very happy for him though now because he has got a multi-year deal with Alfa Romeo, and he is at peace now. Mentally, he is very peaceful now because he knows that his future is secure for at least 2 or 3 years, whatever the contract is. And if he had that kind of security when he was at Mercedes, if he knew in 2017 that he would be at Mercedes for the next 5 years, I'm pretty sure he would have gone for the title.
Definitely.
He would have, and he would have
So, yeah, we
beat
got to know
Lewis.
about all this. We listened to his last podcast, like F1 podcast,
Yeah.
and it was quite evident that he wanted a multi-year deal with Mercedes so that he could like concentrate his mental peace and like not worrying about
Not worrying about the contract
all the
because
contract
every
getting
time,
renewed.
every time uh, he would even despite the fact that he was performing well, he would be under this cloud of uncertainty that who is going to get the drive. Some in between, I think in 2019, I think as pardon me, Esteban Ocon was linked to the seat, and Bottas was tense that probably he might lose his drive to Ocon. Then 2020 and 21 also. Not 2020, I think 21 there were slight doubts, but later on it was confirmed that Bottas would be driving. And as Bottas said himself in the podcast, F1 Nation podcast, that sorry, Beyond the Grid podcast,
Beyond the cricket.
that he directly asked Toto for a multi-year deal in 2021. I mean 2022 onwards, and Toto refused. Toto said no. So that was pretty clear that if he did not have a multi-year deal with Mercedes, he would not continue with Mercedes. He would leave. So that's the thing about Bottas. So uh, I hope he does good at Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, and I believe this is a very good thing he did for himself, his own mental peace
Yeah,
to
yeah,
not to go for a single year contract. Instead, he went for a multi-year deal with Alfa Romeo.
yeah. Okay, Alpha is not going to be exactly a title challenger next year, but you never know because
Can't say that.
when regulations change, a lot of things change. We all know what happened in 2009. Braun was technically Honda, and well, Honda quit at the very last moment in 2008 due to the financial crisis, and Ross Braun took over the team, and they won the title. Probably, statistically speaking, they are the most successful because they entered one world championship season. They won it, both the drivers and the constructors. So yeah, you never know what might happen in the future. With that, we'll take a 5 minute break. So see you guys on the other side of this break. Bye bye. Welcome back, Menonverse. So before the break, we were discussing about Formula One. We were discussing about the season and also radio messages.
And very rebellious Valtteri Bottas.
Yes. So let's pick up where we left off. So, Ronak, I believe you have a few questions for me. Let's start.
Yeah, I definitely have few questions for you, Siddharth. and these questions are related to like the upcoming Grand Prix at Jeddah.
Okay.
A lot of drivers have expressed their discomfort racing at this circuit.
Hmm.
What are your like views on this? Is it like will it be bringing a positive impact in the community, or will it somewhere create a negative impact on the viewers? Like, what are your
So
views on this?
basically, how people will see Formula One.
How people will see Formula One from a driver's perspective?
Okay. So I would like to answer this in two parts. I will discuss on track and off track. So on track, I believe once the visors are down, once they sit in their cars, they are pure racing drivers. They're not going to be worried about the political situation or what all is going around. But when it comes to off track, I think there might be some reservations by the drivers. They might censor some of the things which they would otherwise normally say. Let's see. We'll get to know in uh, during the weekend, and we'll get to know about it more on the Thursday pre-practice press conference. So that is going to be interesting.
Yes, definitely. But like you already answered that once their visors are down, um, they would be into like pure racing mode. But still, somewhere, do you believe that will this whole situation will be just reflected in their driving styles, or like,
No, I don't think so.
don't think so?
I don't think so. They are professionals. They know that they are here to race. They're here to win. There's a world title at play. So be it Red Bull, be it Mercedes, be
Even
it
if they are
Ferrari.
not in the, uh, they are not contending for points.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Well, this will be a very positive sign to see if the drivers race in Jeddah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So um, apart from what the drivers might be thinking, I think we should also focus on the track, Jeddah. So the newest addition to the Formula One calendar. It's purposefully being built for the race this season. It is going to be a street circuit. It is supposed to be the fastest street circuit in Formula One, and I have seen few simulation laps on YouTube on the Formula One 2021 game is even. So it's going to turn up some exciting racing, and we don't know what's going to happen because we have raced in Azerbaijan, we have raced in Monaco, the two street circuits we have been to this year, and surprise, surprise, Charles Leclerc has taken pole in both. I mean, Monaco, we all know what happened.
Yeah.
Despite him taking pole, he couldn't start the race. That's just bad luck for him. But even Baku, yeah. So Ferrari were pretty strong in street circuits. So and so were Red Bull.
And I believe that everybody will be very excited to see Charles sitting on pole.
Especially more so now because both Charles and Science they have taken that new power unit, and the new power unit, Ferrari power unit, is a huge improvement on the previous one,
For the previous one.
and they are. I mean, the best example is that between and during the triple header, uh, I think they amassed around 38 or 40 something odd points. I don't remember the exact points, but that is the amount of points they got. And whereas their direct competitor, McLaren, they were, I think, in the single digits, if I'm not wrong, or
Yes.
probably just in the low double digits. I don't know,
Yes.
but
Yes.
yeah, Ferrari have absolutely aced this triple header.
Yeah, and this season the only thing we have missed is Ferrari sitting on P1 uh, as compared to their previous season in Formula One. They
I think we are not talking about 2020, but yeah. 2019, I mean, Seb is still the last Ferrari race driver to win a Grand Prix, Singapore, 2019. And we haven't, that was the last Ferrari win. That's almost
okay.
2 years back. It doesn't it just hurt you that Ferrari is not winning? I mean, a Ferrari is synonymous with Formula One. Formula One means Ferrari.
Yeah, it's all red and like Ferrari when you talk about Formula One
Yeah.
because
And the Tifosi are one of the most, if not the most passionate fans across the world.
and Ferrari being one of the most passionate teams in
Yeah.
Formula One, like we definitely want Ferrari to win a Grand Prix this season, maybe.
Let's see. Let's see. Jeddah might have some surprises. Even Abu Dhabi, there are some changes to the track.
And
Let's see what happens.
and
So,
we are really looking for a really big comeback from Ferrari for next season. So let's hope
more
that.
on that later on, not now. That is a topic for the podcasts. Um, with that, I think it is about time that I would like to ask you about your race predictions, qualifying and race predictions for Jeddah and Abu Dhabi. And who do you think will win the title?
So I will begin
Let's
with
start with Jeddah.
Jeddah.
Yeah.
So my predictions for qualifying are like
Max P1.
Max P1, Lewis P2,
Mhm.
and Checo P3.
Okay, that's what
And
we all
for the
want.
win, I'm going with Kimi, Sebastian,
Okay.
and Alonso.
That's pretty bold.
Yeah, because these three drivers, I still want them.
That will be, if I'm
Kimi,
not.
Kimi, at least I want to see him on the pole, and like maybe win a GP this year because this is his last season in Formula One, and we won't be seeing him racing a Formula One car from next season. So I definitely want him to win this. Maybe
If that happens, it might be the oldest podium in Formula One history. Might be, I don't know. Because Kimi is 41 and Alonso is 40, or Kimi is 42, Alonso is 41, if
I
I'm
believe
not
there
wrong.
have been some.
And Seb is 34.
Seb is still very young. Like, as
Yeah,
compared-
okay, let's say that this might be the oldest Formula One podium in the modern era.
Yeah,
In the turbo
modern-
hybrid for sure.
If combined,
If-
just yeah, definitely this will
It
be
goes
the
above
oldest.
120.
Yeah,
So,
Definitely.
yeah, and what about Abu Dhabi?
and yeah, so in Abu Dhabi, I want uh,
It's not that tough. Come on.
yeah, it's not that tough, but yeah, still, I would like still Max to be on pole, and to be on a safer side, I would like Max to be on pole because I want him to win this championship. Sorry, I'm like revealing this thing right now,
That's
but
fine, that's fine.
yeah. So maybe Max and then Checo and then Lewis and then
Red Bull 1-2.
to win the Grand Prix. I would still like Max to win this Grand Prix, win Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and then uh, it doesn't matter like who comes second. Like I just want him to win the championship this season.
Anyway, even if you have to say something.
Yeah, maybe Lewis and Checo.
So you want Lewis,
Maybe I would like to see Lando on podium once more.
you want to see him smash the champagne
Yes,
bottle,
definitely. That's
or
a
rose water
that's a
bottle.
sight to behold.
Yeah.
Because why not? Like why not open champagne like Lando?
Yeah. So, okay, and so obviously you said that Max to win the championship.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay, my prediction for Jeddah would be Max on pole, Checo P2, Lewis P3. I know it's bold. I mean, Checo out qualifies Lewis, but you never know. Checo is improving.
Checo
And
is
Max for the race win. Leclerc P2
okay.
and Let's make it spicy. Gasly P3.
Oh, that's super exciting.
And
I guess everybody wants to see Gasly on podium once, like
yeah,
one more time.
and for Abu Dhabi, I would say Max P1 uh, for pole. No, sorry, Lewis P1 for pole.
Okay.
Max P2, Checo P3, and Lewis for the win in Abu Dhabi. Max P2, and let's say Bottas P3. Let's have a hammer bot one last time.
Okay, that would
And
be
obviously,
nice.
Max wins the championship.
Yeah, in that case, Mercedes will be winning, I guess, the constructors then. If
No, you never know. I didn't say where Lewis and Bottas will finish in
but
Jeddah.
you just said
No,
hammer
I
bot.
didn't say. I didn't say.
But
You
we
never
we
know. They
want to
might just
see
crash out.
Warham bot maybe. I guess
Warham bot, yes.
yes, you want to see Warham bot. I know.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's one of the most boring and most obvious ones. But Warham bot, come on, it will be fun. So yeah, so that those are our predictions for Abu Dhabi and Jeddah and the championship. So tell us what you think in the comments down below. So thanks a lot for all the listeners for tuning in and listening to the Menonverse. This was our first episode. So tell us how we did and what you would like to hear from us in future.
And
So
do like, subscribe, and comment share your thoughts with with our F1 community, please.
and if you like this podcast, if you like the channel, and if you would like for us to keep posting such content, please do share with your friends and do subscribe because we have a lot in line. Thank you once again, and still we rise.